So this is part 1 of this particular question. I'm going to teach this in 2 sessions. So make sure you also watch part 2. So part 1, this is a question that we have given here. So metal X has got the atomic number which is 19, bends in chlorine to produce a white solid chloride which is Y. So a white solid chloride is a Y. The question is saying, by means of diagrams, illustrate the arrangement of electrons in X. The first part before the reaction, second one is after the reaction. How can we answer this particular question? For us to be able to answer this question that is here, the first thing we need to know is the electronic configuration. How are the electrons put in shells? So we know that it is having 19. So I know that in the first shell, I'm going to have 2. Second shell, I'm going to have 8. Third shell, I'm going to have 8. Then the last shell, I'm going to have what? I'm going to have 1. So that if I add these, I'm getting a 19. So what I'm supposed to do here, this is the electronic configuration. So they want me to draw a diagram of this particular metal before the reaction. So meaning it is a neutral atom. So I'm going to say this is X because I don't know it. So I'm going to say X. So in this, I'm going to put how many electrons? I'll put 2 electrons. The next one, I'm going to put how many electrons? I'm going to put 8 electrons. According to that, so I'll put 8. These are electrons. I'll put 8 electrons. This is what I'm going to do. Even the next one, I'm going to put 8 electrons. So even here, I put how many? I put 8. So I'll put 8 like this. I guess you're able to follow. This is how you are supposed to be putting them. Then the last one, the last shell is having how many electrons? The last one is having how many electrons? It is just having 1. So before it is this one. So this is the diagram before. This is how it is going to look like. Before the reaction, this is how it is. Now after the reaction, so after meaning it has now become charged. It has either lost or gained electrons. So you know that metals, for metals to be stable, they lose electrons. So meaning this one is going to lose this electron in its outermost shell. So the diagram that we are going to have, I'm going to say X because I don't know it, so I'll be using X. So here I'm going to have how many electrons? 2 electrons. You know that in the first shell you are supposed to have 2. This one, I'm going to have how many electrons? I'm going to have 8 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8. I need to put 8 electrons there. Even this shell that is here is going to contain how many electrons? It is going to contain 8 electrons. So I am supposed to put 8 electrons there. So I put 8 electrons there. This is what I'm going to do. So I put 8 electrons. Since this is charged, meaning that it has lost some electrons. So I write it like this. It has lost how many electrons? 1. So I'm going to put a positive there. So after the reaction, it is going to look like this. Before the reaction, it is like this. Hope you've seen the difference. So this is what you are supposed to do. Then we move now to this question that is here. This is an ion. It has now become an ion, a charged particle. An ion is a charged particle or a group of charged particles. But here it is in its neutral state. This is a neutral atom. It has not lost or gained any electron. We now move on to this question that is here. The question is saying, write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction, this reaction that is here. So they are telling us that X with atomic number what? Atomic number 19. So X is having atomic number 19. So I'm going to say X. I know that if it is having 1 electron in its outermost cell, in other words, the number of electrons in the outermost cell of every neutral atom determines the group it belongs to. So meaning this one is in group what? Group 1. So I know that it is in group 1. It is reacting with a chlorine atom. Chlorine, you know that those ones are group 7 atoms. They get to form the atomic atoms like Eka2 there. Then what is formed here? Since this one is in group 2, I mean group 1, this one is in group 7. You know that chlorine is in group 7. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have this same X, then I put a chlorine like this. This is what I'm going to form. This is what I am forming. So since this is what I am forming, what I'm going to do now is that I have to balance this. I have to balance this. So I have to balance this. How am I going to balance this? For me to balance this now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say, okay, chlorine 2, chlorine 1. So I put a 2 here. I also put a 2 there. Have you seen like this? So this is what I am forming. This is a balanced chemical equation. So this is what you are supposed to know. So these are certain things that you have to know. These are certain things that you have to understand. I guess you are able to see how I'm answering. So this is a balanced. It is what? It is now balanced. This is a balanced equation. So this is a what? A balanced equation. I've balanced it. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like this, it is what? Balanced. You know that, okay, you are able to identify this one if you use a periodic table, but we answer according to the question. So this is a balanced equation. This is where we are going to end from. This is part 1. Watch out for part 2. So watch out for part 2. So this is my number. If you want to join, I'm an online tutor for maths and sciences as well as biology. So if you want someone to help you, this is the number to WhatsApp. WhatsApp me on this number. This is my number. You WhatsApp me on this number. This is my number. So let's chat on WhatsApp. I see how I can help you. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, don't forget to follow me on TikTok. So I want more followers on Facebook. This is my name, username, the Facebook page name. So Harrison J Zuru Tutor. So you can just type this on our Facebook, you get to follow me. So we can do this together. So this is my official Facebook page name. Let's do this thing together. Follow me. If you want tuitions, WhatsApp me. You follow me on Facebook, you get to see all the updates that we get to do as an academy. So myself, I tutor maths, science, and biology. So let's see how we can help you. Thank you so much.